Hello and welcome. This is Best Foot Forward Shoes, the podcast, and this is episode 39. Thank you so much to everyone who is listening to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for finding us on those platforms. If you want all the visuals, we are also on YouTube. Thank you to all of our YouTube watchers. And today we have someone who is almost an associate to a good friend of the podcast, I would say. His name's Has, and Erkan Hassan is kind of the guy who I've met Has through a little bit. You know, I've seen his Instagram work a little bit, but man, I'm a big fan of your photos. Your collection is awesome, and just your vibes that you have with Erkan made me kind of want to reach out to you and bring you onto the podcast, man. And I'm really appreciative that you have joined me. I know you're a busy man. You've got a lot of things on, but I'm so glad that you've joined us today. How are you going over there in the UK?
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you very much for having me on the show. It's absolutely, for me, it's an honor to actually be on the show. And I've seen your work as well. And I must say, one word, impeccable. So those that don't know about Harrison, honestly, get onto his channel and watch his stuff. It's absolutely amazing. But yes, it's good to be here. And I'm really, really excited to be able to talk about shoes, about the culture, and generally just chop it up with you, bro.
Yeah, man, it's definitely one of those episodes where I kind of just want to chat about sneakers. Recently, I feel like I've had a few guests where I've had our last podcast episode was with someone called Sneaked In. His name's Stuart, and he creates like a lace handle product. And it kind of went a little bit deep into the marketing. And I've had other people on who are kind of adjacent to sneakers, but I feel like with yourself, it's all about the sneakers. And I feel like we're going to chop it up about some upcoming releases, some, collaborations, some really cool shoes, and, also just find out about your love and your passion for sneakers. I think one of the best things is just finding out someone else's loves and why they are so passionate. And I guess the first question that I usually ask for someone who's coming on for the first time is kind of, where did this all start? Like you're, obviously you're a little bit older than myself, but I just wanted to know kind of, where did this all start for you and where does this passion come from?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. It's a question that I get asked a lot. And I suppose I sit in that timeline of just before, we had the tech explosion to having a tech explosion, because a lot was influenced or has been influenced by technology. So for me, I mean, from a young age, primarily growing up in the late 80s, 90s, there was a lot of influences, like regional influences. Let's say, you had the three big ones: London, Liverpool, Manchester, all had their sort of own niche. London was booming with Air Maxes, Reeboks. We had the pumps and everything else. Liverpool more so like Adidas, 110s as you call it.
Yeah.
But for me, it was more so, seeing my elders with like cool kicks on their feet. My very first love being the Air Max BWs. I remember those coming out. Just being in awe of that bubble, that big bubble. And it was just, for me, just stirred something inside me. And I was like, wow, this is absolutely insane. It's incredible. And Nike back then, I mean, if you think Nike was on point with their marketing and their advertising today, back then it was crazy, because we didn't have the tech where, you could just look stuff up on your phone or anything. It was very much like posters, things you'd see on TV from time to time. But when you did see it, it was that, it was that more special sort of thing. It was much more special to see it every now and then, rather than constantly being fed things in this day and age where it's just like, yeah, whatever. But when we saw it as kids, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like, where did that come from? And it meant something, it was just special. So there was a lot of influences, Jordan, Michael Jordan was one of my biggest idols, still is. I was a huge follower of basketball. But then, you had people like Spike Lee. I know it's a cliche, but very much a front runner in that whole movement of sneakers and stuff. Mars Blackman, etc., etc. We used to see all that when I was young, and we used to want to sort of replicate all that. So Yeah, a lot of influences growing up. Um, as I said, London had its own sort of subculture of shoes
Mm-hmm.
and fashion. Other cities like Liverpool, Manchester, they had their own subculture, and it was amazing. There was some iconic silhouettes out back then as well. You had the 90s, the 95s, which came out in 95. The classics were, believe it or not, Reebok classics were everywhere. It was
Mm-hmm.
like it was like Panda Dunks more recently to those who are more recent. Um, but it was served up over a more prolonged period.
Mm. Yeah.
Reebok classics were in for a good 10 years. Everyone would have classics on their feet.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it was a great time to be growing up,
Mm-hmm.
before that big tech explosion.
Mm-hmm.
All would sort of talk and socialize, and you'd go and knock for your friend.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't be phoning up someone, you'd be knocking on the door. Oh, let's go out here, let's go out there. What you got on today? Oh, that looks cool. We
Mm.
used to wear things like hey jeans, naff jackets, and it was very much like sort of word of mouth. And back then, if you wanted a pair of shoes, and they were like quite limited. It would have to be through someone that was in the know or someone that had a contact, and you'd
Yeah.
be like, right, keep these for me, right? Okay, let me make a few phone calls, etc., etc. It was a more sort of prolonged process, but 9 times out of 10, you'd be able to get whatever you need. So,
Mm.
but yeah, great time to sort of grow up, and the transition into now is incredible. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything at your fingertip now,
Yeah.
and
So true.
it's it's almost like you know it's been thrown at everyone constantly to the point where people are like, okay, like
Mm.
I'm drowning in like this, drowning in that. Whereas
Yeah.
before, it was, and I'm sort of giving you like before and after, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
sort of explain the opposing sides. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think we're quite saturated now, whereas before it
Mm-hmm.
was like a much more special feeling, should I say?
Yeah, yeah. Now you've actually answered one of the questions that I was going to ask before, which was kind of what is the difference between when you grew up and what it is now. And I feel like what you're saying, about what it was like when you grew up was kind of what was popular was defined by celebrities, by pop culture, whereas now kind of what's popular is defined by your algorithm. Like right now, if you all you care about is Asics, you can curate an Instagram algorithm or YouTube or whatever that it just talks about Asics. That's all you care about. That's all you're going to see, and that's what in your mind is now popular. Whereas back then when you only had billboards, magazines, TV ads, you kind of were force fed the things that were popular, and then you I guess thought that they were popular. I suppose ignorance is bliss in some way. I'm sure there were a ton of shoes that came out and you never even knew about them because there was no social media. There's probably that sort of thing. So there's pros and cons, which is cool. But I mean, I can only speak from my own experience about living through that kind of tech explosion with Instagram, social media. I suppose I am somewhat old enough to know a life without social media being so prevalent. But it's hard to remember. It's been a while since that kind of world existed. Whether we're better for it, who knows? But man, it's cool to see. As you obviously have behind you, you have a lot of dunks. You're really into kind of your Nikes and everything like that. I saw on a couple of your live streams with Erkin, you're talking about some of the Sauconys, like the Glower Constrictor pairs, some of the great Sauconys that have come out. And of course, if you wanted to see any of Hass's Instagram, I've got some images on the screen now, so you can kind of have a look at these. And if you want to go and check him out, his link will be down in the description below. You got an Instagram feed full of you with some sick fits, some really, really nice, I guess, cohesive outfits. I really like this photo. This was of obviously the Levi's 95s, the black pair. This one was really cool as well. it's definitely one thing that I will appreciate about your style is that if you see one of your photos, it is definitely one of your photos. Like you definitely have like a unique style, which is obviously very curated and crafted. So again, if anyone wants to check out your full Instagram, you can go and check it out in the description of the video as well. But I did want to ask kind of what are some of your favorite pairs? What are some of the suppose dunks or any Jordans you have that kind of are your number ones? They're your shoes that you point out to people that are like, those are my favorites.
Yeah, I, look, there's so many that I can go through. I mean, if you want me to list some from this year, I could easily say the Union Jordan pair, which I have right next to me actually.
Yeah.
Union Jordan pair is absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
What they've done with it, um, the shadow
Mm-hmm.
Union Jordans, absolutely amazing. They always do a great job. So that's one of my favorites from this year. Super underrated because I feel like it became sandwiched in between so many drops.
That's true.
But for me, like a personal grail for me was always I'm a huge hip hop fan. I'm a hip hop head from
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. And Wu Tang was always there. And for me, the fact that they were re-released, the Wu Tang Dunks, absolutely one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it, for me, I sort of cried inside when I saw them sitting, but like, how are these sitting? Like, these are just incredible. We could only dream of having these shoes,
Yeah.
like when they first, you know, um, popped onto the scene in such limited quantities.
Mm-hmm.
It was a myth. You
Yeah.
know, we. I was thinking to myself, do people actually have these shoes?
Mm-hmm.
They're so limited, and the fact that they gave it to us, and I just feel like it wasn't appreciated as much as it would have been, let's say,
Yeah.
10 years ago.
For,
If they said,
yeah.
right, we're gonna be retro in these shoes, 10 years ago, people would have gone mad. There would have been queues everywhere.
For sure.
People would have been off the chain, but definitely for me, one of my personal grails that I'm happy to say that I was, able to acquire. Aside from that, the whole boom of the SB dunks, dunk lows, for me was a game changer. From the Jeff Staple pigeons when they first come out,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, wow, what we've got here.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting, and then they started to sort of give us some amazing collaborations. It was like, wow, I've never seen such amazing collaborations on a pair of shoes that fitted so well. Like, personally, for me, SB Dunks, were made for collaborations.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
the sort of silhouette where it's like it's just built for collaborations. The stuff that we've had over the last, um, 20 years, it's been incredible, you know. Um, so yeah, for me, I mean, one of my personal grails, which I've got, and to some it might not be, but I'm a huge fan of Para SB
Yeah.
Dunks. The pulls behind me as well,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely amazing pair of shoes. Up until recently, we've got the Haritos, which absolutely amazing SBs, So it just shows you how things can change over time. Your taste becomes a bit more eclectic,
Mm-hmm.
I suppose. Whereas before, the BW, Hirachis, um, TNs were sort of a staple for me. I
Mm-hmm.
used to love those, and I still love those shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like the sort of SB Dunk sort of took over for me, and it was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
in with the way that I wanted to dress and express myself as well
Mm-hmm.
as I got older. Um, so yeah, it was just perfect timing, I suppose.
Yeah.
When they come on the scene, and yeah, for me, yeah, absolutely amazing.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say that you had a pair of pigeon dunks. You were leading there, and I was like, "There's no
We'll probably
way."
have to retro at some point, bro. But
Oh, no.
I know they don't retro SB Dunk, so it's cool. There's no danger of that. But I must say, if the opportunity ever sort of came my way,
Mm.
uh,
Whew.
I wouldn't say no to a pair of those. But
Yeah.
no, I think it's one of those that I can appreciate from afar.
Yeah.
and a pair that I can say sort of started the whole movement of SB Dunks. You know,
Oh,
it paved the way.
yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, for sure, man. And it's one of those pairs that, I mean, I coughed and I laughed at, oh, haha, they'll never retro that. But people said that about the Undefeated fours. Like, that it's a shoe we're going to try about in a little bit. And people said that about Wu-Tang Dunks. Like, oh, it's never going to happen. Oh, surely not. And man, I suppose we can touch on a little bit, and I'd kind of love to hear your thoughts because, you know, you have such kind of good opinions and very fleshed out kind of ideas about sneakers and the culture. Why do you think it is that Jordan has done so many of these shoes that we never thought would come back or been done again? Why do you think this has happened? Not just this year, but a little bit last year as well that we saw.
Well, I think it's first and foremost, obviously, Nike isn't the only brand out there. You know, we've got so
Mm,
many great other brands. You
yeah.
know, you've got your New Balance, Adidas, Reebok, you
Mm,
name it. But there's been sort of like explosion of, you know, let's say mesh runners that have come out.
mm,
You know, other brands have been exploring different silhouettes and stuff. New
mm,
Balance have come out and, you know, brought out a lot of their old catalog.
yeah.
Um, and it sort of put them on an even footing almost with Nike. Nike lost its way a little bit over the last couple of years in
Mm,
terms of innovation and what can we do to sort of make it more interesting.
mm,
Um, and I feel like it was sort of like a power move. Like, okay,
for sure.
you guys, you guys are bringing out all this stuff. There's been a huge boom in mesh runners, etc., etc. Right, we're gonna show you that you don't have to change up and copy what you guys are doing.
Mm,
We're gonna open this vault and we're gonna show you,
mm,
um, you know, our catalog and how powerful it is. And
mm,
it was like, you know, as soon as they did that,
mm.
people were like, wow, like I can actually acquire one of my grails. You know,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
be
yeah.
honest. I have you know, Nikes or Nike certain Nike shoes as their grails. A lot of people, and
Hmm.
a lot of those people reached out to different brands and stuff. But as soon as they opened that door, it was like those same people were like, you know, hold on a minute, I can grab myself, you know, a shattered backboard, or I can grab
Mm,
myself a Wu Tang Dunk, or this is coming out, Undefeated 4. You know, all of a sudden, it's like Nike started to sort of flex their muscle,
hmm.
and it's just all about sort of showing who's top dog. And yes, they are very much top dog,
Hmm.
but it was almost for me, it was like a move out of desperation as well. It's like, you
Yeah,
know, they've had a new CEO come in, he's trying to bring different ideas to the table.
yeah.
Um, so for me, it was like it started with a bread 80, yeah, the bread 85s early this year,
Hmm.
the 85 cut. Um, with the marketing on that, it was just insane marketing, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
from live action marketing to, you know, you name it, you know, sending out shoes to certain stores, and
Hmm.
people just snapped it up. They were gone. And then we was like, hold on a minute, how are they going to follow this up? What else are they going to do? Little did we know we was going to have a growl every 2 weeks. Literally
Yeah,
every 2 weeks.
Galaxy
I've not even,
phones. Yeah.
yeah, another pair, Galaxy, you know, phones. I never thought I would have a pair of those.
Hmm.
I grabbed myself a pair of those. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like a kid in a candy store. So
Hmm.
it was very much a way for Nike to sort of muscle their way back in,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's like a quick
Hmm.
fix solution,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be left behind by brands
Yeah.
like Asics, New Balance, etc.
Hmm.
Um, Saucony, who's obviously up there now as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was almost like it was almost like those 3 or 4 were sort of edging ahead, and then Nike
Hmm.
decided to just boost it up with the Nitros
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and just
Yeah.
try and get records sort of even kill with
Yeah.
those brands. And they have,
Yeah.
they have, you know,
Yeah.
and they've, I say, they've edged slightly ahead as well at the moment. So
Yeah. And it's not just the like Jordan retros that they've done. It's also obviously the 30th year anniversary of the Air Max 95, and they've done so many good collaborations. And I'm also just seeing a ton of GR colorways as well, just even coming to like JD Sports and like I'm like, man, if I didn't already pick up like 7 different collaborations of the Air Max 95, I probably would have gotten one of those. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. And Nike also released a couple of other good GR sneakers, like the Vomero, the Pegasus Premium. That model that had so much hype. The Ava Rover as well, which I really like the look of. Actually, I really do need to pick up a pair of those. They're really, really good. It's just kind of come all at once, and in a time where I have my eyes on certain sneakers like the Undefeated 4s, like we've already spoken about. And I've kind of, if that wasn't on the horizon, and speaking of like the Travis Scott Fragment lows as well, if they weren't on the horizon, I'd probably be picking up these, like that Pegasus Premium, the Ava Rover, some of those Nike shoes because of how good they are. I feel like I've been very heavily New Balance focused. That was like my first big like sneaker investment, was going all in on like New Balance stuff, especially like the made in USA and UK models. And this year it feels like all I've done is kind of pick up MX 95s and retro Jordan models. It's just, but I'm not, it's not really deliberate. It's kind of just what is hyped, but also what is really cool. Like, and also obviously making content as well. Like you kind of understand that as well, where making content, I suppose, drives a lot of your purchasing decisions, but also what you also like. It's a very fine line. Can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, it goes back to what I said about those people who sort of more driven by New Balance and Asics and stuff have now sort of reverted to, oh, these Nikes are dropping. All right, I'm going to go for these now. But like you said it yourself, you've bought so many 95s, other Nike silhouettes that have come out as well. And it was clever strategy, really. Let's be honest, because it's sort of diverting those sort of people away from those brands. Like, okay, look at what we're giving you.
Yeah.
30th anniversary 5s. Yep. Have it in abundance,
Yeah.
So they've got everyone hook, line, and sinker,
Yeah.
So.
But in saying that, 2 of my favorite sneakers of the year by far, so far, have been New Balance in the Amazonia from Action Bronson and the Joe Freshgoods 992s. So, still amazing collaborations and amazing silhouettes. And, New Balance continue to push out so many good, even just GR colorways of like, the 740 or even just 1906, like that kind of faux protection pack thing. Like they're releasing a whole bunch of those. And, again, those are kind of always on the back burner, and I'm always kind of having a second mind to maybe picking them up. But yeah, again, there's just so many good pieces coming out at the moment, and it's like, I can't buy everything all the time. Oh, what have we got there? The 740, yeah, the concepts, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, it's quite kind of ironic. You're talking about New Balance and you being that guy. The very first shoe that I picked up this year, was the 740 size.
Yeah,
and I managed to get these. Yeah, absolutely amazing. I got these whilst I was in Miami. And absolutely amazing shoes. I had to get these in hand from the concept store as well, which makes it more special for me. And it was, I think the last pair was my size as well, so it makes it even more special. But New Balance for me this year have done bits. As you said, the 992 Joe Freshgoods, definitely in my top 10, if not top 5 this year,
for sure.
In terms of quality, it's impeccable. The way I describe those shoes to people who are like non-sneakerheads or just casual wearers is, I open the box and it's like, right, these are my special occasion shoes. Absolutely amazing. If I'm going out somewhere with my wife or friends, 992 Joe Freshgoods.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did actually have to explain to someone kind of what the Made in USA or Made in UK line was, because they basically were asking like, you're the shoe guy. What exactly do I need to look for when it comes to a New Balance shoe? And I went through the catalog. I was like, all right, so these ones, the 530s, they're kind of just for like, casual mesh, like summer use. 1906, a little bit higher in quality. 740, et cetera, et cetera. You can go different materials, obviously. But then I moved up to the 992, and they're like, well, why are they so expensive? I'm like, it's because they're worth it. Like the quality is outstanding in comparison to the other shoes. Like you can't really compare them. They're just made with such a different process, and that's why I would say that anyone who sees like a pair of made in USA or UK 991 or whatever 992s that are on sale, it's worth it. You're literally getting it at a way below what they're worth. So that's kind of what I would say to anyone who wants to kind of tier those New Balance. And I think I've done a couple of videos like chatting about different models and kind of where they sit in the New Balance family. But man, it's been a crazy year, and there is still some more craziness to come. So I think it's time for us to kind of chat a little bit about some of the shoes that are coming up. We've kind of obviously talked a little bit about the Undefeated 4s. It's obviously the hottest shoe of the last month, maybe the last couple months. People have been talking about it, and I suppose I'll just start off before I chat about it myself. I just wanted to get your opinion. Like, where does this kind of sit for you as a moment in sneakers, and how important is it in kind of, you wanting to get it? How do you feel about this shoe?
Well, I mean, we sort of spoke about this at the turn of the year,
Mm-hmm.
this year, that there were rumors of Undefeated 4s coming out because we knew, as we mentioned before, Nike were going to open the vault.
Yeah.
And even then, we were like, wow, surely not. This can't be this first Jordan 4 collaboration. Obviously, it's a massive one. There was only like, 50 pairs released or something stupid when they first come out. Surely not. So that tells you the scale of this release is absolutely huge. To the fact that obviously we've had a micro site released by Undefeated for the shoes. Everyone's sort of looking forward to this drop at the moment, and I'm just hoping those who want them will manage to get pairs. But look, it's a massive drop. It's one of those sort of Wu-Tang level drops in the sense that when Wu-Tangs were released, it was a myth. When the Undefeated 4s were originally released in 2005, it was a myth. No one thought they'd actually be able to get a pair. And there was so many reps out there. You'd see it on feet all the time, and you'd say to yourself, hold on a minute, is that real, or is that that a rep? It must be a rep, because I'm seeing a lot of these on feet somehow. But to be able to have these in hand this year, the chance to actually have a pair, it's beyond incredible. Beyond incredible. And to some who actually own the pairs and stuff, it might be a bit of a bitter blow. But what I would say is, and Nike have been really clever about this as well, they've changed the heel tab from the Jumpman to Nike Air, so it does resemble some sort of difference. So, and I think it's important as well that both versions of the shoes are sort of put into different brackets.
For sure.
The originals should keep them, should be labeled as Grails, and the newer versions should be released as a 2.0 version rather than a like-for-like version. That way, everyone's happy. People still get the shoe that they've wanted, albeit in a different version. Sort of like, I was
literally about to say, I was going to say, you're talking about the Soul 2.0s,
the Soul 2.0s, they look absolutely fantastic, but they age the midsole. And obviously that's because it's released after so many years. That's what the aged midsole resembles. But also this is fantastic 2.0. In my opinion, it's better than the original. I wasn't a huge fan of all whites all over, but they still keep their identities separate. You know, the 1.0 will always be the 1.0 and the one that come before anything else. The 2.0 is amazing, and that's that has its own identity. So I'm just glad they're going down this route, because there was a lot of talk before, releasing all these grails, you're devaluing this, devaluing that. I'm not, I've never been one to sort of really care about the value of a shoe or how much it's appreciate up or down. I just care about the shoe and the shoe itself. That is it. If people want a certain silhouette, I think it should be available. But the fact that they're, like I said, the fact that they've changed it slightly, um, should keep everyone happy, both
Yeah.
parties happy. Those that forked out, let's say, 50 grand on a pair of Cherry Wood Air Max ones
Mm-hmm.
should still be satisfied with what they have if they were to release those again,
Yeah.
albeit slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
understand. No, I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, man. I
it's
think,
like, different marks of cars. You've got
yeah.
Mark One, Mark Two, Mark Three. They're all different in
Yeah.
some way or another.
Yeah, I understand. No, yeah, totally. I'm fully on board, and I think that there's two things that they've done really well with this. Is the marketing as well as like the interviews and the story that they've started to give the info to people. So for example, like myself, who weren't really of an age to understand what was going on. Obviously, back then wasn't into sneakers. Obviously, in 2005, I was only 10 years old. So sorry to make you feel old there, if that does. But and even in before I like got into sneakers, there wasn't like this wealth of information about this shoe, and now there's interviews, there's you know pieces on Instagram and YouTube where they're breaking down the shoe, chatting to Matt Welty from Complex about the shoe and the different colors and how it's patinaed and the aging and some of the samples that they have, the different materials, like the kind of just seeing all of that has really made me excited about it. And I love obviously when shoes have stories. I feel like people who are sneakerheads often buy more into the story than it is the shoe. Like if you want a army green Jordan 4, there are army green Jordan 4s out there. But people want this shoe because it has such a special place in the history and it has a moment that is tied to it and people want a part of that. And I think that the other thing that they've done well is I hope that they are going to be releasing enough of the shoe that people can get them. And if they want to get them on resale, it's not going to be a mythical figure. Yes, it's going to be expensive, but it's not going to be completely unobtainable in the thousands and thousands. So we'll see. I think it's the raffle closed like yesterday or earlier this morning. So we'll see when they start getting released, and I'm sure we'll start to see photos and videos of unboxings and people getting them. All we've seen so far is promo material, but we'll start to see some actual real on feet pics. And man, I'm super keen and fingers crossed that you can get them because yeah, they're pretty expensive when it comes to getting them to Australia. The conversion rate, I'll tell you right now, is not great, and that kind of sucks. But it is what it is. And again, I'm excited about all of this. So, does any of that kind of hit with you? Like the story is something that you're buying?
100%. I find even some GRs,
Mm,
non-hype shoes carry stories. To be honest with you, a lot of shoes carry stories for me, and that's what it should be. It's about how it makes you feel,
mm,
how it ties in with your individuality. It shouldn't be
mm,
about. I mean, I get it. A lot of people, follow trends. Oh, this looks good, or someone else is wearing that, so I'm going to get that, or they just follow the hype. But
mm,
I think where like being a true sneakerhead for me essentially means being an individual, that
mm,
likes what they like and makes it tie in with their own personality or the way they dress or the way they want to look.
mm,
Um, it should never. Yes, we all end up getting things that other people get, like the undefeated fours
mm,
is a ode to that. We all want that, but again, that carries a story.
mm,
2005, they came out. We all wanted a pair. We couldn't get a pair. It's
mm,
been released. There's a sort. It's the first ever collaboration with Jordan. But it's sort of like having a piece of history on your feet.
mm.
You know, if
Fair.
one, you're walking down the street, let's say, and someone comments on your shoes, and where did you get those from? What's the story?
Yeah.
Oh, these are undefeated. Once upon a time, no one can get a pair, but they released them last year. If we're
Yeah.
talking about, yeah, and managed to get myself a pair. Amazing. Blah blah blah. It's nice to be able to look at your shoes and think there's a story behind that, or
Mm-hmm.
it makes you feel a certain way. I've got, for instance, Oregon Ducks. Air Max 97s released on Air Max Day through Go.
Yeah.
That for me holds a special place in my heart. Managed to meet a friend of mine who I'd never seen before in person. He managed to get the shoes for me. I met him up. We spoke good 2 hours, became really good friends. So now that pair is forever intrinsically tied in to me and that person, and that's what I think about when I have them on my
Yeah.
on my feet. So
Yeah.
it's things like that.
Yeah.
Or other people, it might be the fact that they queued up with someone to buy a certain pair of shoes. You know,
Yeah.
and everyone has a different story.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
I can resonate with both of those things. The lining up for a shoe as well. I lined up at the local kind of only Brisbane sneaker boutique called Laced to get the field jacks to Travis Scott, the like the Sharkadon ones, the ones with
oh,
the
the truck.
yeah, those ones. And like I still chat to some of those people that I was actually in line with, and obviously, made some content from it, and it's all good, and that is now tied to that. And I've also got pairs of shoes that I bought while I was like on my honeymoon, like that sort of thing, and it's all kind of tied together. And whenever I do wear that shoe, it's like, all kind of tied together and in that memory. It's not just about how they look or how expensive they are. That kind of defines a lot of sneakerheads. Maybe not so much these days with like resellers being sort of a dying breed in some way, but how much a sneaker costs doesn't really factor into how much I like it. To be honest, there's GR pairs. I mean, I'm sure that there are pairs that you've got that are very expensive or could be expensive if you sold them, but do they kind of outweigh ones that have more memory to you?
Yeah, I'm not too look. For me, like you said, the cost or value of a shoe doesn't define what it means to me.
Hmm.
Um, what what is more important to me is how it like I said, like how it makes me
Hmm.
feel, the story behind it, and the importance of that shoe to me rather than the value.
Yeah, yeah.
I know recently it's the case, and you see it a lot these days. Certain people don't want shoes because it's not sold out on sneakers or
Hmm.
they're sitting. And I'm here, like I'm sitting down and I'm thinking, what? These shoes, white cements are sitting? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I'll
for
go and
sure.
grab my, our black cement freeze, yeah, I'll grab myself a pair of those. What a time to be alive for an actual sneakerhead,
Yeah.
to be able to I went to a sports shop 2-3 weeks ago in central London. I saw about three grails, that would have been considered grails back in the day, just sitting on the shelf. I
Yeah.
was like, imagine if we'd be able to if we'd be able to go into a shop a few years ago and see all these shoes and
Hmm.
just be like, yeah, I have a pair of those.
Yeah. It-
So it's a great time for sneakerheads at the moment, if you think about it, because you can grab what you like.
mhm.
But also, um, yeah,
Even
exactly.
like a pair of the Lucky Shorts, getting them 50% off. Like, who would have thought?
What? Like, who would have thought? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Things like Pure Monies at the moment, they come out, you
Yeah.
know, they're sitting on shelves.
Yeah.
Um,
The Haley
Even the rare
Wilson
Air Force,
dunks. They like,
Hayley Wilson, right? The Hayley Wilson dunks, right? If they'd have released 3-4 years ago,
yeah.
it would have been game over. It would have been
Yeah.
gone. Gone.
Yeah.
Oh, have you got the Hayley Wilson dunks? No, sorry, sir, we've sold out. Simple as that. Simple as that. What a pair of shoes. What a pair of shoes.
Hmm.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but like going back to the rare Air Force, I mean, these shoes are
Yeah.
absolutely, for me, I said from last year, just before the turn of the year, I think Erkin asked me, what are you looking forward to next year?
Hmm.
And one of my first answers was the rare Air Jordan
Wow.
4s. So I know that these are probably going to be on sale at some point,
Mm.
but the fact that I could go and pick up a pair in store
Hmm.
just meant something more to me.
Hmm.
To be able to go to the shop and say, "Can I have an 8.5, please?" just gave me that satisfaction
Hmm.
of being able to go to a shop and pick up one of the shoes that I've always sort of wanted. So
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. And to think that, you know, these will go on sale in a couple of months' time is incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. So,
Yeah.
oh,
It's,
what a
it,
time.
it is what a time. It makes our wallets hurt a lot, but it's like, I guess, what's the term? Make hay while the sun shines. You know, like it's a great time, and we know that the things take a downturn. Next year might not be as good, and then you just be sitting there looking at your rare Air Jordan 4s and being like, yeah, that was a time. That was awesome. There's another couple of sneakers that are also coming out, kind of, I guess, first in their class, so to speak, is the SB95s, the Nike SB95s, in two colorways that we've seen kind of so far. You've got, oh, sorry, I already had that prepared. I knew you were going to talk about those. I knew you were going to talk about the rare. Like, I literally had them prepared. Like, that was one thing I was going to talk about. You beat me to it. You're reading my mind. But one of the ones that we were going to talk about was the SB 95s. Again, the year of the 95. It's the 30th year anniversary. It's been some amazing colorways. We've seen Erkin do a review on this shoe. This is called the Cactus Flower, and then you've also got a pair from, I believe, Eric Costin, who has made this kind of Michigan Wolverine kind of vibe, yellow, blue, great colorway with the black midsole or navy blue midsole. A little bit of like a yin to the yang of this Cactus Flower one. So if you haven't seen Erkin's breakdown of it, he does chat about how the upper is far less stiff than other 95s, and it's like a lot more comfortable than you think, a lot more pliable. So if you're going to pick these ones up, I think he said go with your like true to size, like what you would get in like the big bubble versions. Even though I don't think this is a big bubble version, something they've done with the new kind of tooling and the making the midsole a little bit smaller, it kind of made it fit a little bit more true to size and less uncomfortable than other 95s. So what's your thoughts on not only this colorway, but also the other colorway that we've seen?
Yeah, so I mean, we can start with the Cactus Flower. I mean, obviously we've got wind of the 95 SBs potentially coming out from last year,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like I was speaking to Erkin last week, and we were just talking about how we were trying to imagine the shoe, what it was going to look like. You know, where they're going to use an SB midsole, and then they were going to use 95 uppers, or how were they going to do it? Is it going to be a a proper mismatch, or and then finally when they gave us first sort of mock-ups and stuff, we thought, okay, so they're running with the 95, but they're gonna sort of give it the comfort of an SB, which makes sense to me. But yeah, for me, they look great.
Yeah.
The color looks great. I love the fact that they've put like a black wave in there as well, just a single black wave, just to break it up. It
Yeah.
looks amazing. That purple color as well. The gum sole,
Oh,
oh,
the
the
gum
gum sole.
sole. Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. And to see it in Erkin's review, actual shoe in hand, it looks incredible. It looks like it's going to be very, very comfortable to wear, especially if it's just going to be a lifestyle shoe for you.
Yeah.
I'm still not really convinced about the skatability. I mean, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, I'm not going to be skating in them if I do manage to have a pair.
Yeah.
But something tells me, I think even Nike know that they're not going to really be sort of a skater's staple, should I say.
Yeah.
But in terms of lifestyle, it's going to be very comfortable. The fact that they're so flexible as well and much more comfortable than your standard sort of 95, and
Yeah.
it being sort of low to the ground, because I think they've taken out a portion of the insole to make it a bit more lower. I suppose that's for board feel, but
Yeah.
I'm really excited about these, and I really do hope I do get to land a pair. And
Yeah.
also because it is the first in that Air Max SB family, so
Yeah. Yeah. Being the
it,
first is kind of special. It's kind of like the pine green of the SB4s. Like it's
I
kind
agree.
of,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Like the Nigel Sylvester's, the first sort of Iron Paws that he released, first in that family. But yeah, I'm really excited. But not only did we get news of that, then we've got news of the Eric Costons. Now, this colorway, again, we go back to stories. Michigan for me back in the day was massive. I had a lot of blue and yellow clothing, Michigan, obviously. I used to have the puffer jackets. I don't know if you remember those,
Mm-hmm.
but they were so popular in London. Everyone used to have them. And these instantly reminded me of that. It
Mm-hmm.
instantly unlocked all those memories, coupled with the fact that obviously I absolutely love SBs. Any form of SB, um, I'm there for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they've got this colorway out, endorsed by Eric Coston as well, I think they look great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes from one end of the spectrum to an amazing sort of summer shoe with the Cactus to the Michigan sort of style Eric Coston version, which you can probably wear in the winter time. So,
Mm-hmm.
bro, uh, they look great, man. That's all I can say. They look great. They do it for me. The colorway, like I said, the memories is just doing it for me.
Yeah, nice man. It's definitely going to be I guess a very popular shoe. The first colorway is always kind of the most popular whenever a new kind of silhouette releases. So I think if people were more interested in this one, you're probably more likely to get it because it's kind of the second one to release. Myself, I'm kind of on the fence as to which one I like better, but again, I don't know whether this one will be releasing in Australia. That's kind of the gamble that we play here in Australia, that we don't know when or if something is going to come here. I know for sure the first one, the Cactus Flower, is going to come here, but I don't know whether or not this one's going to be. So I think it might just be one of those. Just close your eyes, just press submit, and just think about the consequences later. Because if I missed out on one of those SB pairs, I think I'd be kicking myself, especially in this year that we've had of the 95. So great shoe. There's one more shoe and one more bigger story that I kind of wanted to chat to you about, which was the END Gel Nimbus 10.1 in this, I suppose, milk colorway. Let's call it that. It's all milk themed. They've got, the corner shop, the run down to get the bread, the eggs, the milk going down there. And you've got the, I guess, cream hits. You've got the blue, which is really nice. Like the colorway is amazing. I suppose, can you kind of speak a little bit about this shoe? And then also, for people who don't know, End is like a retailer in the UK, based in Newcastle, I believe, and they have a large presence, all over in America as well. And they have a great catalog of shoes and great catalog of collaborations as well. And this is the latest kind of addition into that collaboration library. So, can you chat about End and also what you like about this shoe as well?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, they're a sort of local company based in London.
Mm.
Their collaborations are seemingly endless.
Yeah, yeah,
They have collaborated with literally every single brand I can imagine.
yeah.
Adidas had quite a few. Um, Puma, Nike.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, not Nike. Haven't collaborated with Nike, but they've collaborated with Reebok quite a few times as well. Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mizuno.
what I like about Mizuno as well,
Yeah,
they've got
yeah.
some fantastic pairs with Mizuno, Asics now as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what I love about End collaborations is that it keeps the the stories that they tell behind the collaborations is is amazing, and they keep it local as well. Sometimes, it could just be a collaboration based on. Actually, more recently, I'll tell you another collaboration, like a pair of Pumas they collaborated on with like a Turkish restaurant in London,
All right.
who have been there for 25 or 30 years.
Hmm.
And they've done a collaboration based on that. This place was called Mangal 2. And they done a collaboration with them, with Puma. And it gives it like that amazing story, attached to the shoe. Again, we'll go back to the stories. End are renowned for doing this. The
Mm-hmm.
storytelling is amazing. I've got a pair of, I don't know if I've got it here to hand, but I've got pair of Sauconys, the Nessies, the Loch Ness Sauconys, which I purchased last year. Again, amazing story behind that as well. It's all to do with like the Loch Ness monster, the myth. Oh, you've got the pair there. Sorry.
That's all good.
Uh,
I'm reading your mind, bro.
yeah,
We're on the same wavelength.
yeah, same wavelength. But what a fantastic pair of shoes, first and foremost.
Yeah.
One of my staples over the last year or so. The quality is amazing. End collaborations for me, they never miss. They rarely miss.
Hmm.
It's all about the storytelling for me. Same with these Asics as well. You know, gone to get some milk and stuff from the corner shop.
Yeah.
Um, it's just something that we do here. You know, it's something everyone does. You know, it's steeped in um, that local sort of history, and I really really like these. I love what they've done with it.
Hmm.
It's very simple in tone,
Yeah.
but at the same time, um, it's a very effective
Mm.
collaboration.
Yeah.
And End is really renowned for doing this a lot
Hmm.
with a lot of the brands that they collaborate with. You
Yeah.
know, really doing their homework and driving it home. Um, so yeah, I'm really happy with
Hmm.
these. Obviously, Nimbus had, I think the Gel Nimbus had their 25th year anniversary last year, I believe.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, they're still going strong, still look great, and
Yeah.
I think it's a pair that I will probably look to pick up at some point
Yeah.
if my wallet allows me to.
That's kind of my thoughts as well. I think that, like I spoke about before, with so many good pairs, even just coming up like in the next week, which is mainly the undefeated fours. Like, I don't want to keep harping on about it, but I think that this shoe will kind of sit, unfortunately. Like, that's no reflection on how good it is. I just think it's a reflection
No,
of the time we're in right now. And I think that obviously we don't have endless wallets and we got to kind of pick and choose your battles. But I really hope that this shoe is still available in like a couple of months. And I think it will be, just basing on some of their previous collaborations still kind of being available, which is great. Like, I literally picked those Sauconys up for like 60% off. Like, I was shocked that they still had them in my size, which I
that's very
hope
cool.
people don't take as a negative when it comes to the shoes and how good they are. Like, that's one thing I hope that they don't mark them down in terms of collaborations. But this actually reminds me of what a Jound collaboration would possibly be on the Nimbus 10.1. Like, it's very Jound
Yes,
like, you know.
it's
Reminds
very
me.
round. It's very yeah. It's not. It's intentionally not being loud and brash,
Yeah.
you know, but it's just really sort of plain Jane.
Hmm.
But it's weird, really. It's weird. The way they do it, like Jown, for instance, it's very sort of let's keep it plain and simple, but we'll make the shoe really good quality and we'll give
Yeah.
it a few little hits here and there, which can still, you know,
Hmm.
give it that premium feel. So
Yeah.
look, Jown do their thing. This definitely has that vibe, but it just looks great.
Yeah.
It looks like it'd be a great summertime shoe as well. But
Yeah. It's a good time of year. That's
the blue,
true. Good time of year to come out, I think, for you guys in the UK. Summer. Like, it's great for that time of year, and hopefully, yeah, they're still available for me to pick up during my summer, which is in like 2 or 3 months. So sorry I interrupted you what you were about to say there.
oh no, no, I was just going to talk about the blue.
Yeah.
Like the blue really pops in there as well.
Hmm.
The white against the blue. I love the shank in the middle as well. That
Yeah.
lovely sort of pearlescent blue.
Hmm.
It's just a really nice shoe. You know, the cream hits on the outsole.
Yeah.
Sorry, the off white sort of cream
Yeah.
hit on the outsole as well. Just a wonderful looking shoe, like in my opinion.
Yeah.
Some people might call it boring. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's doing bits for me.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think that this year I've really kind of been marked by buying a lot of 95s, but also a lot of Asics as well. I've got like the Vandy the Pink Asics on this exact same silhouette.
Oh
The
wow!
360 Gel Quantum 1 amp, which the name is too long, Asics, just by the way. But that cushioning and quality materials on that model, the 10th year anniversary of the 360 gel kind of technology, has been awesome. And, you know, it was obviously marked by Jound colorway, which we just spoke about. Very simple, very minimal, very white, very cream, very clean. But I really do love that model. And if you haven't picked one of those ones up, I would definitely recommend. Like, that's a great kind of very wearable and very comfortable and very good looking shoe. So Asics has been great this year for me. Been loving a lot of their stuff. And then, yeah, I'm just excited for like more things to come out later in the year, and I hope that I can, I suppose, pick and choose the right ones. I hope, it's kind of a bit of a lottery when you're kind of having to pick. I can't get everything, so I have to kind of pick, and I'm like, oh, I just hope that I pick the right one, because there's nothing worse than getting a shoe and then just being like, oh, I shouldn't have got that. We all know that feeling, like the
Well,
regret of picking one up, and he's about to show me a shoe that he's probably regretted picking up.
no, not even progressive,
Uh,
but I had to pick these up.
oh,
The Magneto, this collaboration with Kith, obviously.
yeah.
I picked these up for a really good price. But again, I picked these up because, and I wanted to show you guys because, again, for me, Marvel, a big part of my
Mm,
sort of childhood and growing up. Magneto, I love a good villain.
mm,
These were like a no-brainer for me. I've worn these a few times now, but
yeah.
again, such a fantastic collaboration. I just
Hmm.
can't get over it. Like, from the box to the unboxing
Hmm.
to the fact that you get an actual comic book in there, and
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
great shoe.
It's one of my biggest
One
regrets not picking one of those up or not having the opportunity to. Yeah. It's one of those like I wish I'd kind of had the means to be able to get that at that point, which is one of the reasons why I kind of jumped at the chance to get that new Puma ABC collaboration with Fantastic Four. Kind of was
yes,
very intrigued
yeah,
by that, very interested in that, and I kind of no matter what shoe you're going to get, I think as I suppose, content creator, it's going to create a good level of content and being interesting about like which one you're going to get, that sort of thing. I suppose for kind of an non-content creator, I can see the trepidation of like, I don't know. I'm very familiar with Puma as well, so I kind of have confidence that I know what size to get. Some people were a bit scared about the sizing, obviously also a bit scared about the colorways that they're going to get, but I was just like, it's going to make great content, so going to give it a shot. Why not? And I suppose there's two schools of thinking, and I think that if people are getting it, trying to get it just because they want to get a really rare pair, they're probably going to be a little bit disappointed because of how rare some of those pairs are. But I suppose we're kind of wrapping up a little bit here, but I guess lastly, I will get your kind of comment about that pair. Like, did you have any sort of thinking about getting that collaboration?
I actually missed the collaboration.
Ah,
Drop. I missed the drop. So I'm really gutted about that because I've been keeping tabs on it for the last 2 weeks,
mm,
and obviously we didn't know what the shoes looked like,
mm,
um, which ones we're going to get,
yeah,
etc. Bit gutted I missed out. However, um, once we get a good picture of what
mm,
they're like and the different versions that we
mm,
have, I think I definitely want to look at the aftermarket if I can afford it,
yeah, for sure.
to a pair at least, because like I said, Marvel and me are synonymous. I've collected comics all my life.
Yeah.
So it's a pair that I'd definitely be interested in, especially since I've seen the Fantastic Four movie as
Hmm.
well. Absolutely love that movie. But yeah, I was gutted, gutted. I heard it was £150 or dollars just to enter the
Yeah,
raffle with
yeah.
a chance.
Yeah. So, but they will refund it if you don't get selected. I believe that
Well,
the emails and stuff that they're like manually selecting people. So it's going to be a somewhat long process. I think they said about 7 working days until all of the
wow.
ones are done. So I still haven't gotten anything, whether or not I didn't get it or I did get it. So still kind of waiting on that, but I'm excited, and you'll definitely be able to see a live unboxing on this channel. And man, it'll be kind of an exciting piece of content and kind of a moment that I'm keen to share with everybody, no matter what colorway I get. Although I really hope I don't get the Invisible Woman one because it was
I
like an
was just
all.
going to say, is there a pair that you sort of hope that you'll get, or
Uh,
you leaning more towards,
I'd
even though we haven't seen it?
I suppose based on the box, I'd probably say the one with the Silver Surfer, like the grey with the light blue, looked really cool. Also, like the Mister Fantastic one with like the dark blue with the black, like that's a kind of cool colorway combo that I like. And then obviously, if I got the Galactus one, which is supposed to be like the most rare one, I'll be
Yeah.
absolutely stoked. But that's probably unlikely. But pretty much anyone I'd be happy with except for the Invisible Woman one. I'm just not that big a fan of an all pink shoe. So, you know, but that's a chance of 1 in 7. So I'm happy with those odds. So no, it'll be
Well,
fun.
good luck. I certainly look forward to seeing you unboxing and revealing the shoe. It makes for great content. Let's be honest. Just unboxing, not knowing what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fully here for it, obviously. And obviously, Puma, if you're watching, please hook this guy up with one of the nicer pairs, let's say.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words, mate. I really do appreciate it. Again, I do appreciate you coming onto the podcast. Thank you for giving me a small slice of your time. And again, if anyone has not seen Has's work, go and check out his Instagram. The link is down below. You can check him out. Weekly Waffle as well with Erkin goes on there. I think it's every Tuesday. I can't remember what time it is. I think it's at 3 a.m. my time on Wednesday, which is like
8:30. We are 8:30 BST, which is British Standard Time.
Yeah.
So are you 11 hours ahead?
Yeah, roughly about that. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it happens at a time where I'm fast asleep. So unfortunately, but I do definitely watch like on the repeat, on the rewatch. So no, go check those guys out. Again, go check out Erkin's channel as well. If you know Has, you probably already know Erkin. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. Is there kind of anything you wanted to, I guess, say before we head off for the evening and you get about your rest of your day?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to just reiterate again, thank you very much for having me on the channel. I really appreciate it. And anyone who wants to reach out, I'm always available, always talking to people through Instagram or wherever it is. But more importantly, I also just want to say quickly, people, I know it's been a hectic year, a lot of drops. Just be responsible with your spending and your money, and be selective and wear your shoes.
Yes.
Wear your shoes, man.
Yeah, nothing worse than a shoe that does not get worn. In my opinion, if you buy a shoe, wear it. Like that's kind of my, as soon as you get them, as soon as you can, obviously weather permitting, all that sort of thing, occasion, but eventually get those shoes out in the public, man. Get them in front of people's eyes, because some shoes are so beautiful that they deserve to be shown off to people. And you have a great collection of shoes that should be seen by people, obviously by the collection you have behind you, and of course on your Instagram as well. So go check out Has. Again, thank you so much to everybody for watching on YouTube, for all the visuals. If you're just audio only, thank you again. We've really appreciated everyone tapping in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to in your audio feeds. Again, thank you so much to everybody. Have a good day.